INFJ, why your kindness turns into disrespect. You'll be shocked. You've always believed that kindness is strength, not a weakness. You don't give because you want to be noticed. You give because it feels wrong not to. You feel people's pain, even when they hide it behind smiles. You listen when everyone else walks away. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. Your warmth became a weapon others used against you. Your empathy, the same force that once healed people, began attracting the broken who only wanted to take. Your silence was mistaken for approval, and your forgiveness for permission. And you began to wonder, why does my kindness lead to disrespect? Why do people drain me, dismiss me, or cross my boundaries when all I ever wanted was peace? Tonight, we go into the dark corners of that answer, the deep reasons why your kindness, the most beautiful part of your soul, keeps turning into the very thing that breaks you. 1. You attract the emotionally hungry. You feel it before they even speak, that emptiness in someone's eyes, the quiet ache beneath their jokes. You sense the loneliness they don't admit, the insecurity they mask with arrogance. And because you're wired to feel, not just see, you offer warmth. You comfort. You listen longer than most could handle. But what you don't realize, especially when you're younger, is that emotional hunger is never satisfied by temporary kindness. When someone hasn't done the work to love themselves, your empathy becomes their drug. They start coming to you not for connection, but for emotional survival. And soon, you're no longer a person, you're a source. That's when disrespect begins. When they stop seeing you as human and start seeing you as a battery. The truth is painful but necessary. Not everyone deserves your emotional energy. You're not obligated to rescue people who refuse to heal themselves. Your compassion isn't endless fuel for the lost. It's sacred and it must be protected. 2. You confuse understanding with acceptance. You've always been able to understand people, sometimes too well. You can justify anyone's behavior, even when it hurts you. They lie and you say, they're just scared. They use you and you whisper, they didn't mean it. Your empathy turns into a shield for others' wrongdoings. And that's when the disrespect deepens. Because to the unhealed, boundaries feel like rejection. And when you never say no, they believe they can do anything to you and you'll stay. Your understanding, beautiful as it is, becomes self-sabotage. People respect limits, not leniency. They trust strength, not silence. So every time you excuse their behavior, you silently teach them how to mistreat you. And slowly, your heart starts to rot under the weight of all the second chances. Remember this truth. Compassion without boundaries is self-destruction in disguise. 3. You mirror people too deeply. You've always been the chameleon, not in a fake way, but in an intuitive one. You blend into energies to make others feel comfortable. If they're quiet, you soften your tone. If they're broken, you match their fragility. But in this silent mirroring, something dangerous happens. You start disappearing. They feel safe, but they don't see you. The irony is, your ability to make others feel seen can make you invisible. And when people can't see you, they can't respect you. They start projecting their needs, their wounds, their insecurities onto you. They take your flexibility as passivity, your gentleness as weakness. And you wake up one day realizing that the more you adapt, the more people mistake you for someone they can control. But you're not their mirror, you're a soul. And the day you stop reflecting others, the disrespect begins to fade. Because when you finally stand firm in your own energy, people are forced to face the truth. The real you was never meant to be molded. 4. You give without being asked. You see pain and you act instinctively. Before anyone asks, you're already helping, fixing, comforting, solving. You jump in because silence feels cruel, because doing nothing feels wrong. But that's how you get caught in the INFJ trap, giving without consent. When you offer what wasn't requested, people often devalue it. They subconsciously think, if it was that easy to get, maybe it's not that valuable. Your kindness becomes invisible because it doesn't require effort from them. And slowly, they begin to expect it. That's when you stop being appreciated and start being used. INFJ, your heart wants to give, but wisdom means letting others earn your energy. True respect grows when kindness is reciprocal, not one-sided, because even love to thrive needs balance, not blind sacrifice. 5. You mistake loyalty for love. You stay long after the moment's over. You wait for change, for healing, for the spark you once saw in them. You tell yourself that loyalty means patience, but really, it's fear of letting go. You've been conditioned to believe that leaving is cruel, that walking away is unkind. But sometimes, the kindest thing you can do is leave, because when you stay in spaces that no longer respect you, you teach others that your love tolerates neglect. And soon, your loyalty becomes their excuse for complacency. They stop trying because they know you'll forgive. They stop appreciating because they think you'll never leave. But deep down, you know it's not loyalty anymore, it's emotional imprisonment. You deserve love that doesn't need your pain to survive. Your loyalty is sacred. Save it for the rare souls who never make you question your worth. 6. You communicate through energy, not words. You expect people to feel you the way you feel them. You think they should know I'm hurt, or they should sense I'm uncomfortable. But most people don't speak your emotional language. They don't pick up on tone, silence, or micro-expressions the way you do. They need clarity, not vibration. When you stay quiet, hoping they'll just understand, you unintentionally create confusion, and that silence becomes permission. They think everything's fine, while inside, your heart's burning with quiet resentment. And when you finally explode, they call you dramatic. They don't see the 100 quiet disappointments that built the volcano. The truth is, your subtlety gets lost on people who aren't emotionally fluent. You can't expect them to decode what you never said. To be respected, you must translate your feelings into words, not energy, because no one can honor a boundary they don't know exists. 7. You heal people who secretly envy you. This one cuts deep. You've healed people who couldn't stand the light in you. You've comforted the very ones who resented your peace, because while they needed your compassion, part of them hated how effortlessly you seemed whole. They saw your empathy as superiority, your calm as control. They misread your depth as manipulation, because they couldn't mirror it. So they began to chip away at you subtly, small jabs, dismissive remarks, jokes that weren't really jokes. And you, being you, forgave it all until one day you realized that your kindness had been feeding a silent rivalry. The truth is, some people don't want to be healed by you. They want to drain you to feel powerful again. INFJ, stop casting pearls before resentment. Your light was never meant to fix the envious. It was meant to guide the deserving. 8. You confuse selflessness with self-disappearance. At your core, you believe love is selfless. But over the years, selfless turned into invisible. You've given pieces of yourself to everyone, until there was barely anything left. You call it compassion, but it's actually exhaustion wearing a halo. And when you disappear in your own story, people stop valuing you. Because the world doesn't respect ghosts, it respects presence. You were never meant to erase yourself to prove your goodness. You were meant to stand in your power and let your kindness flow through you, not drain from you. When you start showing up for yourself with the same intensity you once reserved for others, the disrespect will stop, because people only treat you as disposable when you treat yourself as replaceable. INFJ, your kindness isn't the problem. The world's inability to understand it is. Your empathy is your gift, but it needs boundaries to survive. Because when you learn to love without losing yourself, you become unstoppable. You'll stop attracting takers and start meeting givers. You'll stop being drained and start being seen. And your kindness, once misunderstood, will finally earn the reverence it deserves. Because real kindness isn't submission. It's strength under control. It's compassion with boundaries. It's love that doesn't bleed to prove itself. You're not too kind for this world. This world is too careless for your kind of love. But one day, you'll meet those who see your heart as sacred, not as supply. Until then, protect your light, because the world will keep testing it, but your soul knows how to rise above.